Oh boy, it's windy today. The sun's out a little bit, but it promises to be another gray, snowy day in central New York, and it's lucky that I don't have any big jobs outside to do today. I'm going to take you around and show you a few things that I think are interesting. We're dreaming about summer right now and hoping winter ends soon. So let's go. Farmers spend a lot of time looking at the ground, right? Well, in the summertime it's pleasing to look at the ground and see what's growing, but this time of year, well, we have ice on concrete, we have ice under snow, we have just plain old snow with a crust on top of it. We have ice mixed with hay. I keep getting stuck with the tractor in here because it's just a sheet of ice. I put some hay down, but it really doesn't help very much. And then we have just bare ice, and we have this mess. I'm waiting for a thaw so that I can get in here and clean it out with the loader and the tractor again. Until then, the cows are wading through it. At least the pigs are staying dry. These guys are growing really well. I have to put hay and straw in every day now, though. It's hard to keep up with how much moisture they put down in the pen. It's always pretty out here. When I lived in the city, one of the things I always hated is when the snow came and it got really dirty and muddy and everything was dirty, but out here in the country it's nice when you have this sort of virgin white snow. Oh, here's a new one. Dirt mixed with snow, mixed with ice. A trifecta. Somebody suggested in the comments getting a set of change for the 504, and that's definitely on my list for next winter because I've been slipping and sliding all over the place with it. Hey, Mr. Orden. How you doing, bud? I've been feeding the cattle this nice second and third cutting hay, and they love it. Still got a nice green color to it. You guys like that, don't you? You got a belly full. It's froze up. When it gets too cold, the propane doesn't really want to gasify, and then it makes it a pain in the butt. This hydrant needs new seals probably put in it. It freezes up once in a while, and I have to get the torch out and heat it up till it thaws. Every time I water, I have to drain the hose when I'm done, or it'll freeze up. Sometimes it freezes up anyway. That's why we always have a spare. When we made small square bales, we used sisal twine. We'd just take it down the woods to let it rot down, but with big rounds, we got to use this plastic stuff, and I don't know what to do with it besides sending it to the landfill. Maybe I can make a sweater out of it. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. I want to show you something cool that I found online. These are called Lock Jawz fence insulators for T-posts. And I'll show you how they work. But in short, these are the ones that we use. And if you watch our videos, you know I'm a big fan of T-post fences because they're so easy to reassemble, disassemble, move, restring, whatever. Well, we've used these insulators up till now, and they just clip on the post like this, and then the wire runs through here, and the wire can move back and forth. If you happen to retension the wire, it can slide. They're okay, but when the deer run through them, these tabs break off, and that's the biggest problem we have with fences, is deer running through them and taking them down. But anyway, these tabs will break off. Now the biggest problem with these, I think, is that you can only put them this way on the fence. So if you're turning a corner or the fence is put this way, it doesn't work. They do make these, but these things are absolute crap. So they go on like this. But the problem is, this thing's so long, if there's any force on it from the fence, up, down, you can see what happens. They're not very good. But this thing that I bought, these Lock Jawz, if they work as advertised, they go on the fence in any position. So let's try them. They can go on straight. Maybe I should read the instructions. Well, I'd say this is farmer ready because there aren't really any instructions. But I looked on the website and I saw how they go on. Ah. That's on there solid. But this is the cool thing. You can put them on not only this way, but any way on the post. So you can put them on that way. You can put them on backwards. If I can get this right. They certainly take considerably more force than those other ones, but you can put it on backwards. And the wire hooks on kind of like this, but I'm hoping the plastic's of a better quality. So now you've got wire that can slide through it. And if you want to go around an outside corner, it does that. So you don't need a corner insulator, you just use one of these. So pretty cool, I think, at least in theory. When April comes and we go to fixing fences, we'll see how they work, but I like it. Lock Jawz. Here it is. Built by farmers for farmers. We'll see. Lock Jawz paid me absolutely no money for this endorsement, and I guess it's not really an endorsement until we see them in use. I finished my clock project and I'll show you it in a little bit. My next project is some work on our big tractor, the 656, and it needs a diesel pump rebuild, which I'm going to attempt myself. I've never done it before. This doohickey right here is a diesel injection pump, and it takes fuel from the tank, gets it up to pressure, and squirts it into the cylinders at a high pressure, and that's how the diesel engine runs. The problem with this pump is it has a plastic ring inside that would disintegrate over time and turn into something that looks like coffee grounds, and then the governor in the pump doesn't work right. It'll fluctuate up and down under load, the RPM, so when I'm mowing hay or something, the RPM goes up and down by a couple hundred RPMs, and it needs to be fixed. So I'm going to tear this pump apart and get a rebuild kit and put it back together, and it'll be a good learning experience. So stay tuned for more on that project. It's going to take me a while. I wanted to show you all this clock because I finished it. So this is an 1880 to 1900 Seth Thomas, what's called a hip movement, that I got in a box of junk parts. And I made this face out of a piece of scrap tin that I had and bent copper wire to make the numerals and soldered those on. I made the case out of chestnut that we had salvaged from the floorboards in the house when we redid the house, and it came out nice. It runs well. So what kinds of chickens should we order this year?
Chickens.
You each get 6, right?
Yeah.
One sign that spring is coming is that we have to order replacement layer chicks for the year.
I want mine to be a little bit unique. Like,
Grace and Henry love picking out unique chicks to grow as their own. Not just your normal chicken, huh?
No chicken. Like what I'm saying is that they shouldn't be just like a normal chicken with just different colors. They should have like some sort of distinct feature.
Oh, let's see. So we have some fun looking through the catalog online and finding some interesting looking breeds.
I'm pretty sure.
Dark Brahmas? Was that it?
No, it was the light Brahma.
Some have 5 toes.
5 toes. How many toes does a chicken normally have?
4.
3 in the front and then the 1 in back.
Yeah.
Right? They count the 1 in back as a toe.
So
This one has 4 in the front and 1 in the back.
I don't know. That'd be kind of creepy.
What do we have cooking today? Venison roast. I want to show you an awesome way to cook venison roast. This is a sous-vide cooker. It's sous-vide in French, I guess, and it just means water cooking. Cook them at 130 degrees. That's the water temperature. It circulates around. Keep them in a vacuum bag like this. Put them in the morning. Cook them all day. Pan fry them for dinner to sear them, and they are tender and awesome. We put a little rosemary in to season them.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Sniff test. Yeah. We like to ferment foods. I had MRSA about 5 years ago and learned the importance of gut bacteria and all the things that they do regarding mental health and physical health. And so we ferment foods a lot. Pickles, sauerkraut, kimchi. So we have a batch of pickles here that might be done. We're going to give them the old taste test. They don't have enough sourness yet.
No, they don't. I think they need longer.
Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and don't slip on that ice.